Today we are going to discuss the difference among shooting videos with cell phone, action camera, and mirrorless cam. I'm using iPhone 13, the basic model. Whatever kind of smartphone you are using, the idea is the same. So generally you have the 4K, HD, 30 FPS, 60 FPS, 4K, 60, or maybe 24. And let's try shoot something. You have the background blur and you can change the lens, zoom in, zoom out, slow motion, and when you're finished recording, check the album. Smooth as butterfly. You know, the advantage of using a phone is that basically anywhere you go, you take it with you. And also the battery, you may always keep an eye on the battery because you need to use a phone for other usage. The downside to use cell phone as a camera is that the price. I mean, yes, you can use the iPhone XS, which is what I was using. It's pretty cool, it has 4K 60, but if you are thinking about the newest cell phone, which will be iPhone 13 Pro, that price, I mean, it's almost more expensive than a mirrorless camera. Not to mention you are buying a cell phone which is not specially for camera, so let's say 1 year later you will lose at least $300 because new iPhone has been launched. I mean, the same for other phone. Another disadvantage is the battery of the cell phone. After you use it for a long time, the battery performance will drop. And yes, you can replace it, but in that case, maybe your phone will not be waterproof anymore. I mean, unless you go to the certified place. While talking cell phone, you might think about the gimbal. Actually, I have made one video before comparing cell phone with gimbal and GoPro. You know, if you are just using cell phone to shoot some casual video and you're behind the camera, maybe each clip is less than 1 minute, maybe you don't need to consider the gimbal because you can just learn some hand movement. But if you need to shoot something for a few minutes or you need to keep follow the subject, then in that case, I would recommend you to get a gimbal because, you know, a gimbal itself almost twice larger, I mean heavier than a cell phone. But I also have another suggestion for you is that, for instance, right now we have DJI OM6, right? Actually, you don't need to spend that much money on an OM6. You can just go back and choose the OM4 because the performance is almost similar and also the price is less than $60. The other reason I recommend you to get a gimbal for cell phone is because it's not only just to stabilize your cell phone, it also has a lot of other functions like movable, time-lapse, hyperlapse, stuff like that. The software is quite awesome too, I mean, for DJI. Now we talk about the action cam. Actually, it's quite easy to understand. You just watch the advertisement and you will know where you can use it. Because if we cell phone and big camera, you just cannot do that. Besides the traditional action cams, there are also cameras which can shoot 360. I think they are quite awesome, but I didn't buy that because, you know, after shooting that, you need to spend a lot of time to decide which kind of angle you need, and also you need to spend time to edit in the software. And I was thinking that I have a lot of stuff needed to invest my time, so I would prefer to cut those time and stick with traditional action cam so I can have more time to do other stuff. But if I'm gonna make a video shooting as my full-time job, I will obviously get one of it and try it out. You know, you never know unless you have tried that. And for camera like Pocket 2, I thought that was a joke, but then I found some YouTubers who are using the Pocket 2, especially when they are doing their rotating thing. I think it's also not a bad choice if your purpose is just to move around, show stuff to the people, and then talk to your viewer because it also has DJI Mac. Downside of DJI Pocket 2, maybe the battery is not replaceable, but you know, you can have power bank, stuff like that, and it's just a tiny thing. I think the only downside of action cam is that it doesn't have focus pull because for the image quality, the replaceable battery, the replaceable TF card, they are just awesome. And if you are talking about Action 1, 3, GoPro 9, 10, 11, they also have front screen. So if you are doing vlog, you can see yourself, and if you are shooting something else, you can still see the back screen, which is pretty cool. I hope camera can have that thing too. Now we talk mirrorless cam. The advantage is that it's professional and you can almost customize any setting. The downside is quite obvious. The huge body, the setup, the price is actually reasonable if we talk about iPhone 13 Pro. The setup, if not this camera, is actually much cheaper than 13 Pro. I really don't have too much to talk about the camera. Actually, I have made one video before. You can check that. It lists everything you might need. And also I will try make another video to explain different kind of camera because they have micro four third, APS-C, and full frame. So what is the conclusion? Well, I would recommend you to use what you already have, which is your cell phone. You can get some understanding about the resolution, the FPS thing, and also the focus, the brightness stuff, the different lens choice, the composition, slow motion, stuff like that. And when you find your cell phone is not enough, or if you are riding bike or some special stuff you have to use action cam, then go with action cam. And because they are small and quite robust, so you really don't need to worry about where you're going to use them. And you can use your creative to get many kinds of shot. And what about the big camera? Well, if you have tried your cell phone, which you already know how to use all its function, and you have tried the action camera, and you find both the cell phone and the action camera cannot fulfill what you need, you want a better quality, you are very serious about cinematographer, I would recommend you to get a mirrorless cam. And the camera is kind of stuff because, as I mentioned previously, there are different type of camera, and I will try make a full video to explain which camera might suit you the best. Okay then, that's it for me today. See you in the next one. Oh, if you have watched till the end, I would have one recommendation for you, which is don't buy the newest action cam or camera. You can try with the second hand, and if you don't like it, you can still sell that. But don't buy an expensive phone because you want the best camera on it. For instance, like the iPhone Pro, it has 3 different lenses. They are great, I agree, but since they are cell phone, the price will drop about $300 per year. For action cam and mirrorless cam, it will drop the price, but not that much. So you make a mess.